field of 64 is set, and it has been a while since we've seen the Heels in action. They are coming off their first loss, which was a 2-1 double overtime loss to the Pitt Panthers in the first round of the ACC tournament. Now let's take a look at the bracket. The Heels will be facing off against Towson first. Towson has a record of 15-2-2 and advanced to the D1 championship for the first time. But they haven't faced a ranked opponent this season, and they haven't seen a team quite like North Carolina. In the Tigers' last game, their goalie, Riley Melendez, saved a penalty kick with 2 seconds remaining to send them to their first NCAA tournament appearance. So there's a lot of momentum on their side, and I think the Towson goalie will be the key player in their matchup today. So the Heels need to figure out how to get past her. If they beat Towson, they will play either Western Carolina or 6th seed Alabama. Now I want to take a look at Alabama specifically because the Heels played them earlier on in the season. The game ended in a 1-1 tie. And who was the difference maker for the Heels? It was Avery Patterson. She scored the only goal for the Heels, even though her teammates had plenty of shots on goal. She received the ball in Alabama's half and drove toward the goal into UNC's attacking third. And we see she takes an 80-yard run separating from her defender, and she fires off a left-footed shot into the far post to give the Heels the lead. If the Heels make it past the first round of the tournament, the second and third rounds are November 17th and 19th, but they have to get past Towson first. Heels fans, including myself, were very nervous Friday night early on in the Towson game. The Tigers are a very physical team, and Carolina just couldn't handle the physicality in the first half. The Heels struggled to work the field and get into their own attacking third, and they couldn't put pressure on Towson. The momentum shifted for the Heels when they scored a goal with 1 minute remaining in the first half. But I think it was the second half that was crucial for the Heels because they completely switched up their game. They got more physical and put pressure on Towson, specifically the Towson goalie, Riley Melendez. With 32 minutes left, Melina Rabimba sends the ball to Avery Patterson, who's going to head the ball, and the Towson goalie is going to grab it. But only a minute later, the Heels put the pressure again. They drove toward the goal, and Avery Patterson gets inside the box, and she's going to send a quick pass to Maddie Darlene, who's close to the goal. Darlene is then going to take a shot, and Melendez is going to grab it again. But the difference here is you can see she's clearly frustrated, and she's defeated after this play. The pressure got to her again when Kate Fossey is going to send a rocket to Allie Sentnor from the edge of the field. Sentnor is going to get close to the goal, and she has 4 defenders on her. But that doesn't stop her because she's Allie Sentnor. She sends a pass above the keeper's head for a goal to put the Heels up 2-1. The Heels scored another goal with 7 minutes left to put the game away 3-1 and move on to the next round of the tournament. So the Heels are still alive, and they'll be facing 6th seed Alabama on Friday. The Heels are moving on to the Elite Eight once again. They had 2 very physical and defensive games this weekend against Alabama and Texas Tech. The defense showed out for Carolina. In both games, they held opponents without a shot on goal the entire match. Now, who's the player who scored for the Heels to put them up 1-0 and help them survive in advance? It wasn't Allie Sentnor or Avery Patterson, it was Bella Sember. With about 19 minutes left in the game, the Heels passed the ball around inside the box a little bit, and Allie Sentnor, she's going to find a loose ball. She sends the ball to Sember at the top of the box, and she is going to shoot a rocket into the upper right corner to put them up 1-0. Sember did this about a week ago in the NCAA first-round Towson game. With a minute left in the first half, Talia Della Pruta passes the ball to Sember, and she is going to take a huge shot from 25 yards out to tie the game 1-1 in a crucial moment in the game. After seeing these 2 goals from Sember in massive playoff matchups, it's clear she isn't afraid to take risks with these shots from far out and take 1v1 battles with the goalie. The Heels face off against BYU, a familiar opponent in the tournament, Friday in Utah, and hope to advance back to the College Cup for the 5th time in the past 6 years. Heartbreaking can't even begin to describe the end of this game for the Heels, but they put themselves in this position. During the past 2 years in the tournament games, once this team gets a lead, they get tight, play too conservative, and quite frankly, they don't play their true brand of soccer for 90 minutes. They then blow leads they have no business losing. First, let's take a look at the BYU game from this weekend. This is one of 2 goals from Allie Sentnor. Look at the numbers here. There's 7 players for UNC in frame past half field. This allows UNC to maintain possession, drive toward the goal, and Allie Sentnor, she's going to take a left-footed shot to put them up 2-0 early on in this game. The Heels had a 3-0 lead by the 20th minute of the game, but this is when disaster struck. Again, look at the numbers here for UNC. There's 9 players behind the half field. This allows BYU to set up their offense, and now they're going to drive toward the goal. And Olivia Katoa, she's going to take a massive shot, get the ball in the back of the net with only a minute and a half left, and this won the game for them, ending the Heels' promising season. This isn't the first time that this has happened. Unfortunately, this seems to be a consistent theme for the Tar Heels. I want to look at the championship game against UCLA last year. Heels fans, cover your eyes. The Heels have a 2-0 lead with only 15 minutes remaining. They then gave up a goal with 10 minutes left to make it 2-1. With only 16 seconds left, and it's the same story. The Heels parked the bus too early, playing too conservatively, and letting UCLA maintain possession to get this goal to tie the game and send it to overtime. The game ended in a devastating double overtime where UCLA scored this goal to win the national championship. This type of play cost the Heels Title 23 in 2022 and once again in 2023. I had an amazing time covering women's soccer this season. Throughout the season, I would give the team a B because they were undefeated until the ACC tournament. Their offense dominated, led by Allie Sentnor and Avery Patterson. Sentnor had 11 goals and 29 points, while Patterson had 9 goals and 20 points. And their defense gave up multiple goals only 3 times this season. The reason I brought them down to a B is because of their program record 8 ties. This was a pattern for the Heels, and it showed that they couldn't finish big games, which came back to bite them in the playoffs. That is when their grade moved down even more for me to a C-, because the Heels failed the final exam, which was the NCAA quarterfinal game against BYU, where they blew a 3-0 lead and lost 4-3. This team had championship expectations that they didn't live up to.